Oh so simple, oh so useful, and oh so stinking cute. Hi everyone, it's Sherry. I hope that you are having a wonderful day. Stay tuned. Welcome to my channel, friends. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for all of the positive words of support and encouragement. And thank you so much for the way in which you've been showing up for my File Folder Friday Fun videos. The performance of the File Folder videos over the past couple of weeks has greatly improved, and that's because of you, so thank you. But today, we're going to switch gears just a little bit, and we are going to make the sweetest little refillable notepad. This is a 5x8, and it is one of those things that we always need. I know that I make a lot of notebooks on the channel, and there's a reason for that. Because so many of you do craft fairs, or so many of you like to gift notebooks, and having a variety from which to choose is always a good thing. But most recently, I have gotten comments from several of you who mentioned that you made some notebooks, notepads, and the keychains and took them to a craft fair and sold every single one of them. In fact, one of you mentioned as soon as she could replenish her table, they sold out. And that is always a good thing to hear. So we're making this notepad. It will be refillable. I'll show you how I'm making it refillable, and I'll show you just how simple it is. But first, I'm going to flip to my overhead camera to give you a closer look. But y'all know what time it is. It's time to make it. My apologies if you can hear any lawn care equipment in the background. The crew is out working today here in the strip mall, so you might hear a little bit of background noise. Hopefully that won't be too distracting. But we're about to make one of the sweetest little refillable notepads. And y'all, it really is very, very simple. Mine is 5x8, and I have a nice little belly band here on the front, and the belly band actually closes with Velcro. And I will show you how I did that. And y'all, this is just so sweet and so easy to make. Here's what we're going to need to make it. So I am going to be using some of the Dollar Tree legal pads. We will not be using all 3 packs in this pad. How many I use is really going to be determined by one thing, and I'll share that one thing with you in just a minute. But we're going to be using these. Then I've chosen these 2 patterns for today's project. And then we'll need some chipboard. And I haven't cut the chipboard because I want to cut that with you so that you can see how I cut one sheet of chipboard versus multiple sheets at a time. So here is what we're going to do first. In my scoreboard, I have a blade. And on that blade, I have marked it with a permanent marker. And I know that the marked blades in my stash are blades that I can use to cut chipboard. When my blade is fresh and new, it does not have any markings on it. But for the chipboard, it is okay to use a dull blade. So I am going to take my chipboard, and I am going to cut a piece at 5 1/8. And you can score through or cut through a couple of times. And then it's ready to bend. And that just makes it easy for me to go through with my finger blade and cut. So then I'm going to take this 5 1/8 strip, and we're going to turn it to the 12-inch side, and we're going to cut it at 8 1/8. So again, I'll just go through with my chipboard cutting blade, and then I'm going to move this over to 1 1/4. So I move that score over to 1 1/4, and I'm going to cut through again. So now I can just bend, and I can go through, and it's going to be very easy for me to be able to just cut through and cut that chipboard. It really does reduce the wear and tear on my hands. So what I have here is an 8 1/8 by 5 1/8 inch piece, and what I have here is a 1 1/4 by 5 1/8 inch piece, and those are the sizes of chipboard that I will need for today's project. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just place some tape on the back of both. So now we're going to remove the backer sheet from our double-sided tape from both pieces of chipboard. I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to put it right here. And then I'm just going to cut off my excess. We'll flip this piece over. Make sure we get it nice and stuck. Now I can take my stylus, press it against the chipboard, and press it into the paper to create a score. This score helps if you have a paper that is prone to cracking. It might help to reduce that cracking by breaking the fibers up just a little bit. I can't say that it will eliminate the cracking, but it might just help. So now we're just going to stand this up, train this to fold over, and then we're going to miter our ends like this. And by mitering, we are simply coming in at an angle very close to the tip, but not touching the corner of that chipboard. And then we cut at another angle. That helps us to be able to fold over and get that professional look that you see on items that you might purchase in the store. And most of those items have been machine folded and machine mitered, but ours hand mitered, hand folded. So now we have this. I'm going to take my tape and I'm just going to place my tape down like this, because we're going to fold over all four sides. So now I'll peel away all of my tape backers and we will get this folded over. So now I'll just stand it up. We'll fold that over, fold that over, fold over, and fold over. So if you have any pointies, just take your corners and tap them into the desk, and that will eliminate the pointies. Then I'm going to take my big old spatula and just score around my edges to get a nice little square going. Just gives it more of that professional look that we like to have. So there's my front. I'm going to go ahead and do the back. So I know that this is 8 1/8 by 5 1/8, and I'm simply going to reduce by 1/4 inch, so that 8 1/8 is going to become 7 7/8, and then the 5 1/8 is going to become 4 7/8. And I should have changed my blade back to my clean cutting blade, but it did all right on this, so I'm not going to worry about it. So I'm going to take my tape and place my tape on all four sides of this piece, and then we will join it to the platform. So now I'm just going to take some tape and put a few strips right here in the middle. Let's get that stuck. And now I'll peel away my tape backer. And now we'll take these two And we're going to put them down like that. Let's just go ahead and get that nice and stuck. So now we have a completed front and back platform. I'll bring in that piece that is 1 1/4 by 5 1/8 and the scrap piece that I had left over when I trimmed out. And I'll place it down like this, and we'll trim out the excess. So if you know that your paper is not prone to cracking at this point, you can just stand it up and start training it to fold over. Then just go ahead and do your miters. And I'm going to take some tape. We're going to put our tape right there in the middle. And then I'm just going to add some tape on these 2 long pieces. Now we can peel away our tape backers and just fold over our sides all the way around like that. Then I'll tap it into my desk, take my big old spatula, and just go around to square. So now we have the top and we have the bottom. I am going to bring in my Crocodile Big Bite, which is still broken, and I'm going to bring in one of my notepads. We'll start with one, and it has the chipboard backer already on it, but I don't need it, so I am just going to tear off here, because what I want is this, because this will go on here like that. I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it in my Crocodile Big Bite, and I'm going to punch. And what I like about the Big Bite is that it does go through thicknesses very well. Then I'm going to take this one, put it in, and punch. So now we have our 2 holes. I am going to use these holes as my template for punching. So I have put my clips there. Now I can take this, and when I put it in, I'm simply going to use it as a guide, find my hole, and punch. And then I'll do the same thing over here. Let me go in, find my hole, and punch. So there are my holes for the paper as well as my backer. Now I'm going to take this piece, and I need to do the same thing. So I'm just going to put these on to hold in place. And I am going to take my hole punch, feed it through the whole template, and punch. And then we'll do the same thing over here. Put it in that hole and punch. And now I am ready to put everything together because I have my holes here, here, and here, and they should be fairly aligned. And my secret to making these, I will be using these Chicago screws. They come in various lengths, and the screw size that I use is really determined by how thick my project piece is. So when you look at my Amazon storefront link, which is in the description box, and go to metals, you're going to see these screws. Now I have several that I've used over the years, but you can order any of the Chicago screws that I have out there because they are assorted sizes, and you'll be able to use the size that works best for you. But first, what I like to do is I like to just take one of the longer screws and go in and condition the hole just a little bit by placing it in. and just making sure that I'm not going to have any problems putting my screw through the hole like that. So what you have with the Chicago screws is you have two pieces. One has the screw-in piece and then one is a flat front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece, which is the flat front. We're going to put it on by pushing it through the hole. Then I'll push it through there, and I'll do the same thing on this side. I'm going to take this piece that has the flat front, and we're going to push it through the holes here, like that. Then we're going to take this piece, push it through, and then it will meet that hole. And I don't have my screwdriver, so I'm just going to use my finger blade as a screwdriver. And that's all you do. Put it in on the back side. Get it started. And then if I have my screwdriver out here, which I don't, we can just twist it. And now you can see what a nice little notepad we have. When you're writing your notes and you're done with this piece, you can simply pull it up and tear it along this edge to tear it straight. Now, if you're selling these, I would go ahead and just punch the replacement holes in a few of these notepads and include it with it. If you're making these to gift to someone, I would do the same thing. If you're making them for you, then you can go out and punch the holes anytime that you want. But I would just make sure that if I'm gifting these or selling these, I would include a couple of pre-punch pads. So now that we have this, which is pretty cute on its own, I am going to go ahead and make a very quick belly band for this. So I am going to cut a piece that is 2 inches by 12. And then I'm going to score at 1 inch. Going to take my tape and just run a strip of tape down one side. And let's just fold over. And now I'll peel away that tape backer and we will fold over. And so now we can take our belly band, and all I'm going to do with mine, y'all, is I'm going to take it and fold it over and fold it over. And we're going to close it using Velcro. So let's take this piece, put that Velcro right there. And I'm pulling it really tight because I am closing it with Velcro, so I don't have to worry about having that extra spacing that we normally do with our belly bands, where we might be sliding it on and off. So now I'm just going to take this piece and glue it to this side. And that way it'll cover the spot where the Velcro is. And then I'm just going to take a few little gems. I think I'll take 2 per side. And just put these down like this. And so there is our finished notepad. Looks good on the front as well as the back. And it's all made possible by using the Chicago screws. You can find these in the Amazon storefront link, which is in the description box. So I'm going to bring this one back in, and you can see that this one is thicker than this one. So I used a longer screw for this versus what I used for this. But y'all, I think that these are just so adorable, so easy to make, and so stinking cute. I know that you'll have so much fun making these. They're very easy to make and very inexpensive to make. So I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber to my channel, all day, every day, this is what we do, and this is how we do it. So I would love to have you subscribe. Hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit the notification bell so that you'll know when I upload a new video. As always, my friends, please be safe, be kind, and be the reason someone smiles today. Happy crafting, and we'll chat later. Bye.